Assalamu alaikum, dear friends and students. In this video, we will discuss the solution of assignment based on chemistry of carboxylic acid derivatives. The first question of the assignment was choose the most appropriate response. Uh, it has 5 parts. The first part was which of the following compounds is not an anhydride. So we were given these four structures, and we have to spot the compound that is not an anhydride. So you know that the anhydride is basically a compound that is formed by the condensation of two carboxylic acids. So in anhydride we have a structure of carbonyl, oxygen and carbonyl. So there is an oxygen lying between two carbonyls. So compound A is an anhydride because there is a carbonyl, then oxygen, then carbonyl. Compound B is also an anhydride because it has the same functionality, carbonyl, oxygen, carbonyl. However, if you look at compound C, there is a carbonyl oxygen, but there is not carbonyl directly linked to this oxygen, to this second position. Rather, there is a methylene and then the carbonyl. So compound C is not the anhydride. And so this is the answer for this particular question. Let's look at D also. It is also an anhydride because we have the oxygen lying between the two carbonyl. The second part was which of the following reagents does not react with benzoic acid, converting it into a different compounds. So to solve this question, we will have to recall our all reactions of carboxylic acid that we have learned. So if you treat the carboxylic acid, and that is the benzoic acid in this particular case, with the option A, that is the thionyl chloride, yes, the reaction occurs and we have the acid chloride. So A cannot be the answer because they are asking something that does not react with the acid. So A reacts with the acid. It is not the answer. However, if you look at B, sodium iodide in acetone, so there is no reaction between the sodium iodide and the acid. So B is in fact is the answer because we do not have any reaction between the sodium iodide and benzoic acid. Sodium iodide reacts with a methyl ketone in the presence of base in a very famous reaction called the iodoform reaction, but this is not the case for this benzoic acid. And if you look at option C, lithium aluminum hydride in ether, yes, we have the reduction of benzoic acid to the benzyl alcohol using lithium aluminum hydride. If you look at D, excess methyl lithium in pentane, we also have a reaction of benzoic acid with this excess methyl lithium to afford the ketone. So option A, C and D all are the known reactions with the benzoic acid, but there is no reaction with the option B, that is the sodium iodide. Now let's consider the part 3. It says which reactions would best accomplish the following transformation. So if we compare the reactant and the product, the changes lie to this side. It has the ester and now it has the aldehyde. This ketone remains the same, so we will have to consider only this side. So option A and option B and option C and option D, all four options have 2 steps. The first step is the reduction. In the option A and B, we have used the lithium aluminum hydride. In option C and D, we have used the sodium borohydride. So you must recall that the ester is not reduced by the sodium borohydride. Sodium borohydride is a mild reducing agent that selectively reduces the aldehyde or ketone. So this ester cannot be reduced, hence we cannot have the option C and D because there is a change in ester in the reactant to have the aldehyde. So option C and D cannot be the answer. Now let's focus option A and B, lithium aluminum hydride. They have the same, so definitely this ester will be reduced to the primary alcohol. As we know, the reduction of ester with the lithium aluminum hydride, and also this this ketone will be reduced to secondary alcohol. So it's same for option A and B for the first step. However, if we consider the second step, Jones reagent is an oxidizing agent, but the problem is with Jones reagent is that it oxidizes the primary alcohol to the carboxylic acid, and not the aldehyde. So hence Jones reagent can also not be the answer. However, if you look at B, PCC in dichloromethane, yes, PCC will oxidize the primary alcohol to the aldehyde, and also it will convert this secondary alcohol to the ketone. So overall, we will get this our desired product using option B. So this is the answer. Now let's consider the fourth part. Which compound does not react with ammonia to form propane amide under mild conditions? Again, this is they are basically asking the reaction of these four species with ammonia to afford whether they form the propanamide or not. So if we consider the option A, propanoyl chloride, this is the acid chloride. Yes, when it is treated with ammonia, it will give us the propanamide. So option A will provide the propanamide. So hence it is not the answer. If we consider option B, ethyl propanovate, it is the ester of propanoic acid, and again it will give us the propanamide when treated with the ammonia. So we will not have the answer as B. Option C, propanoic anhydride. It will also give us the propanamide when treated with the ammonia. So options A, B, and C, all three will give us the propanamide upon treatment with the ammonia. However, propanoic acid, which will not give us the propanamide upon treatment with ammonia under mild condition. So this is the answer, because we know that when ammonia is treated with propanoic acid, there will be a simple acid-base reaction, and the reaction will stop at ammonium propanoate level, and there's a salt formation, and we will not have the amide until unless we give a higher temperature. But here it is mentioned the mild condition. So there is no conversion of propanoic acid into the propanamide under mild condition. Now let's discuss the fifth part of the first question. It asks, which of the following is an intermediate in acid hydrolysis of an ester? So this is the ester, ethyl ethanoate or ethyl acetate. We know that the hydrolysis of ester gives us the corresponding acid, but they did not ask us to write the product. Rather, they simply asked via what intermediate the product will be formed. So if you look at option A, it cannot be the answer, because the protonation cannot occur at this oxygen. Rather it will occur at this oxygen. So it is wrong. Option A is not the answer. And why the protonation cannot occur at this oxygen and occurs at this oxygen? It's simply because protonation at this carbonyl oxygen occurs because we have two resonating forms for that particular case. However, if the protonation occurs at this oxygen, there is no resonating form, hence no stability for that particular intermediate. So protonation always occurs at carbonyl oxygen. So option A is not the answer. If we consider the option B, there is an anion formation, and we know that under acid catalyzed reactions, there is no oxyanion form. Always there is a cation formation. So there is no oxyanion may be formed under acid catalyzed reactions. Hence B is not the answer. However, if you look at C, it seems to be answer, and yes, it is the answer, because if you recall the hydrolysis of ester, the first step is the protonation of this carbonyl oxygen. Then the water as a nucleophile attacks to this carbonyl, breaking the CO double bond into the CO single bond, and we have this intermediate, and which is then after that step the proton shifting this H proton, this H migrates to this oxygen, and then we have the lone pair of this oxygen to push this ethoxy as an ethanol to be out of the system. Hence option C is the answer. And if you look at option D, no, they basically they showed the acylium ion, which is not the case for this reaction. However, if we had the acid chloride treated with the aluminum chloride, then we have this acylium ion, as we have been learning in the chemistry of benzene. So option C is the answer. Now let's discuss the question number 2. It says define symmetrical and mixed anhydrides with examples. Well, symmetrical anhydride is basically the anhydride formed by the condensation of two similar carboxylic acids, as the name suggests. So in this particular case, we have taken the example of this ethanoic acid. Two equivalents of ethanoic acids condensed together to have this symmetrical anhydride with the water as a byproduct. Now let's discuss the mixed anhydride. In mixed anhydride, basically two different or dissimilar carboxylic acids condensed together to afford the anhydride, and you could see the difference between the symmetrical anhydride and mixed anhydride. In symmetrical anhydride, we have the same acyl portion attached with the central oxygen, but in mixed anhydride, we have different acyls attached to this central oxygen. For the question 3, what are primary, secondary, and tertiary amides? Explain with one example each. So for the primary amide, we know that it's an amide whose nitrogen atom is bonded to only one carbon. So if you look at this structure of amide, we have carbonyl and nitrogen directly connected with the carbonyl, which is the case for the amide. Now nitrogen has only one carbon linked, and the two other valencies are satisfied by some other atoms. So this is the primary amide. For the secondary amide, we have the amide whose nitrogen atom is bonded to two carbon atoms. So one obviously be from the carbonyl carbon, the other is from some other carbon. In this particular case, we have shown the methyl, but it could be anything such as ethyl propyl or whatsoever. For the tertiary amide, we have all three valencies of nitrogen fulfilled by the carbons. So you could see it's a tertiary amide. And we cannot have the quaternary amide because nitrogen does not have the 4 valency. And we even cannot have the positive charge nitrogen here. However, we may have the primary, secondary, tertiary, or quaternary amines, but we cannot have the primary, secondary, tertiary, and all quaternary amides. So because the nitrogen cannot afford the positive charge being in the neighbor of the carbonyl. So it may also be a question why quaternary amine exists, but quaternary amide does not exist. The fourth question, ester converts into carboxylic acid both under acidic and basic conditions. But carboxylic acid converts into ester only under acidic conditions. So explain this behavior. So other way around, they are simply asking why carboxylic acid does not convert into ester under basic condition. So before answering this, let's take the case. This is the ester that converts into carboxylic acid under acid condition. And yes, it occurs. It is called the acid catalyzed hydrolysis of ester. So as the base catalyzed hydrolysis of ester under using the ester as a starting material, converting into the carboxylic acid, and it's a two-step reaction. We have the conversion of acid into ester, that is called the esterification as acid catalyzed reaction. But we do not have this reaction. This is the acid and this is the ester under base catalyzed reaction. So why this fourth reaction does not occur is basically the part of this question. So we know that it happens because nucleophile serves as a base when react with carboxylic acid. What does it say? It says if you were considering the base catalyzed hydrolysis of ester, so yes, this hydroxide was attacking to this carbonyl, and after the tetrahedral intermediate formation, we were having the departure of this alkoxy. But here in this particular case, we cannot afford the nucleophilic attack of this hydroxide to this carbonyl when we have this acidic hydrogen present. So the first step will be simply the nucleophilic attack of hydroxide to this acidic hydrogen. Hence, this hydroxide will be serving as a base, not a nucleophile. In fact, in doing so, we will have this carbonyl carbon a poor, in fact, a worse electrophile. So we do not have any option to convert the acid into ester using the hydroxide, which will always give us the acid-base reaction. The fifth question was, what is the difference between the nitrile and cyanide? So it has been a very interesting question always, because Sometimes students get confused and they think that both nitrile and cyanide are similar species, but this is not the case. Let's discuss what nitrile is. It's a C triple bond N. Functionality is called nitrile, which has a covalent bond with a carbon or a hydrogen. So if you look at the C triple bond N, yes, it is called nitrile, but the C whose one valency is left is to be fulfilled by some carbon or hydrogen. So overall nitrile is a neutral molecule and has a covalent linkage. There is no ionic linkages, ionic bond present, and it is a very common functional group used in organic chemistry. However, if you look at cyanide, it's a C triple bond N functionality, which has the ionic bond with a carbon. So here we have the negatively charged carbon, which has a connection with some cation, whether it's a silver positive, silver ion, or the sodium ion, or the potassium ion. We call the potassium cyanide or the sodium cyanide or the silver cyanide. So cyanide is an ionic species, while nitrile is a covalent species. Nitrile is very common in organic chemistry, and cyanide is used is a part of the inorganic chemistry. But we also use the cyanide in our organic chemistry, because when we say the attack of the cyanide, attack of the CN, we call it cyanide. But when we have this CN installed some carbon chain, we call it nitrile. Question 6 was protonation of nitrile affords A that tautomerizes to B. So which tautomer between A and B is more existing and why? So both A and B are the tautomers of the protonated nitrile, but they say which one is more existing, and the reason, of course, for that. We know that this nitrile, upon protonation, this nitrogen will have the positively charged, and we will have this tautomer A, but we know that this pi bond may be broken, and this pi electron density will shift towards this electron deficient nitrogen to have this neutral nitrogen, but in doing so, the carbon will become the electron deficient, thus generating the positive charge. So in one case, we have the positive charge on nitrogen, in other case, we have the positive charge on carbon. So apparently, you must be thinking that this tautomer B should be the more existing. You know why I'm telling you this? Because if you consider the electronegativity of carbon and nitrogen, you know that nitrogen has more electronegativity than carbon. And you also know that the electronegative elements tend to remain neutral or negatively charged, but they do not tend to have the positive charge on them. So by considering this token, you must be thinking that tautomer B is better because nitrogen is neutral, but tautomer A is not better because in this case nitrogen is positively charged. So nitrogen being more electronegative is not more existing when we have the positive charge on this nitrogen. But wait, the reverse is true. A tautomer is more existing than B tautomer. It's because the tautomer A has the complete quota of 8 electrons for these carbon and nitrogen. That is, we have the complete octet for this carbon and nitrogen, because this carbon is 4 valencies, that is the 8 electrons surrounded, and this nitrogen has again 4 valencies, 3 with the carbon and 1 with this hydrogen. So again it has 8 electrons surrounded. So both C and N are satisfied as far as their octet rule is concerned. However, for the tautomer B, we know that the nitrogen has the complete quota of 8 electrons, because 2 bonds with the carbon, 1 with the hydrogen. So 3 bonds means 6 electrons. And then we have a lone pair of electron that gives the 2 electrons further to have the 8 electrons. But if you look at the carbon, we have the 3 valencies. So carbon has not the complete octet, rather it has a sextet. So tautomer B is less existing, or other way around, we may say tautomer A is more existing, and because tautomer A has a complete quota of 8 electrons. Now let's discuss the last question of this assignment. It simply has the reaction scheme, and you are asked the intermediates A, B, and C, and the final product D. So let's start with the very beginning. We have this propyl bromide and the sodium cyanide as a nucleophile, and we know that the compound A or the intermediate A in this particular case will be simply SN2 reaction, and the bromine will be replaced with this nitrile. And here you could see it is cyanide, but this is nitrile because it is a negatively charged species anion, but this is neutral. So this is also the case that we discussed 2 questions ago. So A is simply a butane nitrile, and then upon hydrolysis of A, we know that this will be converted into the carboxylic acid. And remember, do not forget to miss the number of carbons. We started with the 3 carbons, then we have the 4 carbon because of this cyanide, and this 4 carbon remains 4 carbon because this is the only hydrolysis. So this is the butanoic acid, the compound B. And for the compound C, we have simply esterification, and of course it must be the acid catalyzed, not the base catalyzed. So we have the OH replaced by OET. So now we have 6 carbons, 4 on this left hand side and 2 from this ethyl part. The last part is the reduction using diisobutyl aluminum hydride, which is called Dibal, which selectively oxidizes the ester into the aldehyde. So now we have this 4 carbon aldehyde, which is called the butanol. So we started from the propyl bromide, we ended to the butanol. You're using these 4 steps. So that's all for this assignment 5. I hope you enjoyed the solution of this assignment and also the questions those were provided to you and the relevant video lecture for solving the assignment 5. So thank you very much.